Thank you for coming. We're going to make some history together today.
Is that clock going slowly?
It is! Look at that. Ronnie Brown, untouched.
Boom, boom, boom. Muffins.
Attention parents and grandparents of young children.
Are the Stanley Cup champions?
I am the law.
Ahoy, everyone! I'm your host, Solaris, and today I'm joined here by no one. I'm joined by no one. It's currently, at the moment, just me today. I feel like I should just put this here at the... Put this here at the bottom. Yes, this is for anyone joining. Welcome back to another episode of Gaming in the Bush Obama Years. Specifically, welcome back to Handheld Month. This is week 3 of Handheld Month, a retrospective of the month of February. A celebration and retrospective of handheld gaming, an important aspect of gaming in a time before smartphones took over gaming as we know it. Before the iPhone, before other smartphones could run powerful games like today's models, with phones today being able to run games like the Resident Evil 4 remake or Death Stranding natively. The Game Boy Advance, 3DS, Sony PSP, and PS Vita all allowed us to experience gaming without a TV or on the road. Throughout the month of February, I should be looking at one platform per week, with this week's platform being the legendary Nintendo DS. Before I start with the gameplay, I will just give a brief little retrospective of the DS, as I've done with the other handheld consoles I have featured on this channel this week. 3 years after the Game Boy Advance launched in 2001, Nintendo changed literally everything when it came to handheld gaming. Arguably the biggest revolution to handheld gaming since the original Game Boy of 1989. Dual screens, one of them being a touchscreen, Wi-Fi connectivity, enough processing power to properly support 3D graphics and 3D games, with performance being comparable to a somewhat more powerful N64 rather than being closer to the GameCube. An actual system menu that was actually more comparable to a PDA, which was the style of the time. and a sleek, somewhat futuristic design that would later become minimalistic and very Apple-like later on. That platform was the DS. The development of the handheld was actually shorter than that of the GBA, which dates back all the way to January 1995. The DS was originally started being developed around mid-2002 and was announced in January 2004, then shown off publicly in May at E3 later that year, with a release date set of November 21st that same year. Well, in North America at least. The rest of the world got it later, a little later. The DS was originally presented as a quote-unquote third pillar to Nintendo's lineup, which was mainly a fallback in the event that the platform failed, which to be honest, even at the time, felt very flimsy considering the DS was designed to also be backwards compatible with the GBA, which is actually how I played the majority of my GBA games growing up. So I don't know how that's meant to be a third pillar. Although later on, though, the DSi and DSi XL almost traded away that functionality for a camera. Armed with a 67 MHz ARM9 CPU, as well as a 33 MHz ARM7 CPU and 4 MB of RAM, the DS was significantly more advanced than the Game Boy Advance. But there were threats looming with Sony's PlayStation Portable, the PSP, which I covered in the first week of this series. Go check that out if you haven't. That was looking to be much more powerful gamer-focused system than the DS. For comparison's sake, the PSP's hardware specs resulted in being performance-wise very comparable, very close to the PS2 home console, which was way more powerful than any of Nintendo's handheld offerings. For the first time, though, since the Sega Game Gear, Nintendo actually had faced serious competition to their handheld dominance. To combat this, Nintendo put a lot of effort into showcasing and marketing the dual-screen functionality, touchscreen, and 3D gaming possibilities of the DS, which can be seen with their launch titles. I'll get to some of those in a minute. Worth noting, though, is the North American marketing tagline for the DS. the tagline for the DS was "Touching is good," which sounds less like you're trying to sell someone a video game console and more like you're trying to justify your crimes before having to do the sex offender shuffle. The DS launched in North America in November 21st of 2004 at a launch price of $149.99, which I believe is close. I believe nowadays is closer to about $250. Across its lifetime, though, Nintendo's worries about it potentially failing were completely shattered, as the DS sold an eye-watering 154 million units. This made it, as of the time of recording, the third highest selling console of all time, behind the PS2 with 160 million units and the Nintendo Switch of 155 million units, both of these numbers being at the time of recording. The console itself boasting a huge consumer base of casual gamers as well as serious gamers too. The PSP, in comparison, sold between 80 to 82 million units across its variants and lifespan, and both of those units outsold their other quote-unquote competitors such as the Pandora Mini PC, South Korean-only GP2X series, and the legendary failure that was the Gizmondo. Anyone remember those platforms or even know of those? I'm sure some of you might know of the Gizmondo. That was very famous for how much of a failure it was. In 2006, though, the DS got even better with the release of the DS Lite, boasting a smaller frame, better lighting, and better battery life compared to the original. If I remember correctly, the DS battery life was, I believe, somewhere around like 15 to 18 hours. remember correct, it was in 18 hours. I believe I mentioned this actually during the PSP Get Boy. I'll pull it up in one quick second. Oh yeah, the DS had a battery of 850 milliamp per hour, and the DS Lite with 1000 milliamp. This resulted in a battery life of between 15 to 19 hours. For comparison's sake, the PSP, despite its performance and its larger 1800 milliamp per hour battery, on the original model only had a 4 to 6 hour battery life. In 2000, oh, by the way, I should say, the DS Lite, anecdotally speaking, I argue was probably the highest selling variant of the DS, mainly because I've seen way more DS Lites in the wild than original DSs and DSIs. Even I myself personally owned a DS. DS Lite, I should say. In 2008, however, the console got its biggest revision, though, to date, with the release of the DSi, which traded in the GBA backwards compatibility for a front and rear-facing camera. And then that console got even bigger from a size standpoint with the DSi XL in 2010. However, interestingly, the DSi XL was more tailored for casuals and the older people with its color options and marketing. A stark comparison to the 3DS, where the XL models were seen as the gamer options. The DS was also arguably one of the most modular platforms from an accessory standpoint, with so many accessories made for it, and so many special editions for it. I believe there was like almost 1,000 versions of it on consolevariations.com. With some of the weirdest ones being the G Unit DS. I wish I thought of to put a picture of it beforehand, because that's, you have to see to believe it. It is a real thing. Because when I think of Nintendo DS, I think 50 Cent. And strangely, I don't remember correctly, none of the 50 Cent games ever got a release on the DS. But some of the accessories, or the ones include the Rumble Pack, which was actually bundled with Metroid Prime Pinball, the DS headsets, which also included a microphone. It's compatible with games that also use the internal microphone as well. This was bundled actually with Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. The Opera web browser, along with the memory expansion pack, which bumped the RAM to 8 megabytes and is required for the browser to run. The Opera web browser actually allowed DS owners. Ahoy there, Annie Ring. Welcome to the channel. I'm just currently going through the history of the DS before getting into the game. If you're new here, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you enjoy the stream. But yeah, the Opera web browser allowed DS owners to actually, browse the internet. There was the face scanning kit, which was made redundant by the DSi. But it's also made redundant by the fact that it plugged into the GBA slot. It was compatible with 2 games that were Japan exclusive. There was the slide controller, which allowed the DS to be used almost like an optical mouse. That was another Japan exclusive add-on, as well as the digital TV tuner, which actually allowed users to watch TV. It was available exclusively in Japan through Nintendo's online shop. So if you got tired of playing, how are you and what's going on? I'm doing good, thank you. Currently celebrating my 50 subscriber special. I'm back up to 50 subs again. And currently I am giving a retrospective and rundown of the DS before I get into this week's DS game that I'm showcasing as part of GitB Handheld Month. But yeah, with the digital TV tuner, it's kind of cool because, in theory, it's like, oh, if you get tired of playing the Japan exclusive Gundam games, you could just tune in the TV and potentially catch, I don't know, Gundam Seed or anything the other Gundam shows that were airing on TV at the time. The activity meter, which is bundled with personal training running or walking. The Pokewalker, which I think a lot of people might recognize, that was bundled with Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which allowed your Pokemon to be transferred into that, gain experience points every time we took a step, which actually almost acts as like a distant precursor to Pokemon Go, which I do play a lot of. And due to its efficient accuracy, the hardware and technical design of it was reused on later Nintendo titles like Wii Fit U. Learn with Pokemon Typing Adventure also came bundled with the Nintendo Wireless Keyboard. As mentioned last week, there was also the MP3 player to play on. It was DS Vision, which was included with face training. There was, of course, the stylus that was part of the system. The Game Pack slot cover, which is also bundled with the system as well. There was also third-party stuff like the guitar grip used for games like Guitar Hero on Tour, paddle controller, which was used for Arkanoid DS, Space Invaders Extreme. Those accessories were made redundant because they used the GBS slot, and the DSi did not have that. There was the Digit blood glucose monitoring system, which I think is weird, just like the GBA as well. The motion pack, which was used for Tony Hawk's Motion. Pedometer, solar sensors, used for the Boktai games. The Hyperkin 3 game selector, FM radio converter, and of course there was also action replay as well, which I immediately used to use when I was a kid. All of this combined with one of the most expansive libraries a console has ever seen. With around 1,700 games released in North America and an estimated 3,400 games released in total for the DS and DSi across its lifespan. The DSi actually had its own handful of exclusive titles, meaning that there was literally something for everyone, and literally just picking a selection of games that are highlights is a difficult task because of just how many games there are. The highest selling one being New Super Mario Bros. Released in 2006 with 30 million copies sold, and that was actually the original title I was going to showcase this week before I regained 50 subs. But here are just some titles, noteworthy titles for the DS. I'm just going to speed run through these and not give you the years. But there are, because there's a lot to go through. Advance Wars, Days of Ruin, Advance Wars Dual Strike, Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, Cooking Mama 2 and 3, Drawn to Life SpongeBob SquarePants Edition, the bizarre Electroplankton, which actually had its own stage, Super Smash Bros. Weirdly. Elite Beat Agents, Fire Emblem titles for the DS, like just Shadow Dragon, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, the Kirby games, Superstar Ultra, Canvas Curve, Squeak Squad, the 2 Zelda games, Phantom Hour and Spirit Tracks, Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, Bowser's Inside Story, Mario and Sonic games, Mario Kart DS, Mario Party DS, the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games, Mega Man and Zero Collection, Metroid Prime Pinball, New Super Mario Bros., the Ace Attorney Trilogy, Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black and White, and Black and White versions 2, Pokemon Ranger, the Mystery Dungeon titles, the Professor Layton games, Rhythm Heaven, the Shin Megami Devil Survivor games, Sonic Rush 1 and 2, and Sonic Colors. All 3 games I had previously featured on this channel before. I absolutely adore Resident Evil. Resident Evil Village is an incredible game, and Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. That's actually my favorite game of the series. It really filled in the gap, the void left by the lack of Silent Hill for many years. Adore Resident Evil games so much, and I'm so excited for Resident Evil Requiem. Are you excited for Requiem? The return of Leon now as the cool, sexy uncle. But yeah, also Professor Layton and the Curious Village, another game that I had featured on the series previously. The underrated Speed Racer, the video game, tie-in for the underrated classic 2008 Wachowski film, Wachowski's Speed Racer film. Super Mario 64 DS, a launch title for the system. Tetris DS, one of my favorite variants of Tetris. Trauma Center Under the Knife. Wario Master of the Skies, WarioWare DIY. WarioWare Touched. It's another launch title for the system, which also has a weird... Alright, am I crazy for saying, doesn't WarioWare Touched sound like Wario... Like someone reporting Wario for SA? Like, touched... like, Wario touched me. And of course, there was Square Enix's The World Ends With You. As someone who is not really a fan of JRPGs and turn-based RPGs, I actually really like The World That Ends With You. And of course, there is this week's showcase game, Metroid Prime Hunters. First-person shooter and big marquee title. Do you stream only on YouTube or others? I stream only on YouTube. I'm not a big fan of Twitch, and I absolutely despise Kick as a platform. I despise it a lot. 2006, we got our spotlight game for this week, though. Metroid Prime Hunters. A demo of this game was actually included as a pack-in title for the DS when it first launched. Metroid Prime Hunters First Hunt. Metroid Prime Hunters is kind of notable as it was the first entry of this sub-series of Metroid games not to be made by Retro Studios, but rather the Washington-based Nintendo software technology, which have done a lot of games such as the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series, as well as support work on games such as Super Smash Bros. Brawl and various other like Wii channels. Some notable games for when Metroid Prime Hunters came out. It came out March 20th, 2006. Some games that came out for it were around the time. Driver Parallel Lines for PS2 and Xbox on March 14th. Metal Gear Solid 3 Substance for PS2. Siphon Filter Dark Mirror for PSP. Final Fantasy 12 in Japan. Tetris DS. Twitch on YouTube, stream on both Twitch and YouTube. That's awesome. I know there's software and plugins that you can use to actually simultaneously stream on both platforms. I contemplated doing both, but I just thought I could because I don't like Twitch that much. I just stick to YouTube. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion and Tetris DS came out on the same day as Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime Hunters. Sorry. Godfather the Game, Beautiful Joe, Red Hot Rumble, Cooking Mama, True Crime New York City, Kingdom Hearts 2, and Taurus Trophy, a motorcycle-based spin-off of Gran Turismo, made by the Gran Turismo developers. Came out for PS2. I will... All that bullshit aside, let's actually now get onto the main event. Originally had planned to place New Super Mario Brothers on stream this week, but because I've now back to 50 subscribers, I figured I'd celebrate that by playing Metroid Prime Hunters. Silex, one of the main hunters of this game, your rival bounty hunters you fight. Man, you're a web developer and professional animator and a VTuber. Oh shit, you're a VTuber. That's cool. I was a little tempted to be a VTuber, but I figured like that's like too much to like do. I figured I'd just stream as myself for now. Yeah. But you're a professional animator. Have you worked on anything interesting and noteworthy? But yeah, Metroid Prime Hunters. It took the gameplay of Metroid Prime and I argue translates it very well to the handheld platform, utilizing mostly the D-pad for movement and the left shoulder button for shooting and scanning, and also the stylus for almost everything else. Which sucks if you're mainly left-handed, like I am, when it came to playing on the actual hardware. But now I have to use my scuffed mouse. Utilizing multiple different locations rather than biomes, like most other Metroid Prime titles, Metroid Prime Hunters feels... It definitely feels like a spin-off of the Metroid Prime games, but still has that spirit. And it's still a key part of the Metroid series, with Sylux, one of the hunters in this game, actually being the main antagonist of Metroid Prime 4. Oh, yeah, what's some of the work you've done? I'm very interested. By the way, feel free to suggest games to play in this series. I do play other consoles as well. Gaming in the Bush Obama years, for this series, I play games between November 2000 and January 2017. So pretty much any game from that period is fair game. It's just for the month of February, I'm focusing on showcasing handheld titles because I wanted to play more handheld games on this series. Are you on DC? What do you mean? Like DC Comics? Detective Comics? Yeah, I remember my time in the DC universe. Got my ass kicked by Batman. Tried to tell Lex Luthor that Clark Kent was Superman. He laughed his ass off because he couldn't fathom the idea that some beatnik reporter was actually the Man of Tomorrow. Oh yeah, one thing I do want to say as well, to anyone else watching, if you're like of Chinese descent or Chinese, Happy Chinese New Year! It is the Year of the Horse this year. The last one, which being in 2014, if I remember correctly. I myself was actually born the year of the rabbit. What year specifically? Wouldn't you like to know? Oh, Discord. I don't publicly give out my Discord. I'm sorry. Splatoon. I definitely want to look at Splatoon at some point, even though it's more of a multiplayer game. Did the original Splatoon have like a single player to it? I think it did. But I definitely want to look at some Resident Evil titles. There's quite a few good ones. I know like Revelations, for example, was actually a 3DS exclusive at launch. And of course, there's Resident Evil 5 for like the 7th gen consoles, which still to this day fun fact, Resident Evil 5 is still to this day the highest selling Resident Evil game, which is kind of shocking to me, but I think that shows you the power of couch co-op at the time. What's your favorite DS game, by the way? Because I'm always curious about this, because whenever I ask people this, they usually give like different answers. For me, personally, it's probably either this, or Sonic Rush. Sonic Rush is up there, or probably New Super Mario Brothers as well. So thank you for adding your Discord. Didn't need to do that, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Have you played Metroid Prime before? There's a... oh shit. Alright, here we go. One thing I do find a little weird about this game that's kind of hard to get used to is the fact that the game itself isn't not like other Metroid games where you like lose everything. It's not like a game where you lose everything and then have to start from scratch. Granted, it's been a long time since I've played this game. So we will have to see. Do you have any socials? No, I don't. It's a good question though. Is the DS the greatest handheld console ever made? Genuine question, by the way. Hell yeah, finally got missiles. It's a genuine good question, by the way, when it comes to the DS, because while there is, you know, like there is, there you go, like a Metroid, like it's like the Walmart Metroid that. I don't know. Yeah, this is Solaris missiles. But yeah, the DS, it's... well, I argue there are some incredible handhelds out there, you know, like the GBA I covered last week, the PSP, which I covered week 1 of this month, or the Nintendo Switch. But I feel like there is a serious argument to be made about the DS, especially for just like how many games came out for it. Damn it, not that one. There we go. Psycho Bit. Got my missiles. As I mentioned, there's so many like games for it that are just like true highlights. But at the same time, there is a lot of shit. And a lot of weird shit too. If I can just pause the game for a second. Like just off the top of my head, some shovelware and some weird outliers. Share my designs with you. Do you have like an art station? Yeah, I wanted to ask where I could share my art with you. Do you have like an art station account or like a platform that like you have posted your stuff on? Because I'd love to view those. That's pretty interesting. It's not AI generated or anything about that, because official stance on this channel is very anti-AI. I despise AI. I despise what it has done for society so far, and I despise what it's done for consumer electronics. But there's some weird titles though for the DS. Like they have 100 classic books, Barbie Horse Adventures Riding Camp, Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses, Lego Star Wars 2. Coming around, the original game is excellent, but the DS version is one of the worst games ever made. Same with the DS version of Cars, Disney Pixar's Cars. But Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga for DS is really good. Yeah, the New York Times crossword puzzle. New York Times crosswords. My Stop Smoking Coach. It's just some weird stuff with the DS. It's really a platform for everyone. Or if you like proper video games. Oh. Alright. That's cool. I'll buy and look into those later on. There we go. But yeah, the DS had a lot of shit, but also arguably had so much, and it revolutionized handheld gaming for the most part with what you could do with it. Shoot these assholes. So here, shoot these guys here. But yeah, like the DS walked so platforms like the Switch, like the 3DS its successor, and arguably the Switch and Wii U could run, or in the Wii U's case, lead into the Switch, stumble and fail on its way to becoming the Switch. And I say that as someone who actually owns a Wii U and actually likes the Wii U. But you, Chatter, do you ever play anything on the DS? Do you ever own a DS? If you did own a DS, what were your favorite games for it? Got it. Sorry, network issues. Oh, it's alright. I was just saying, did you ever played the DS? Did you ever own anything on the DS? What was your favorite DS game if you had one? Hang on. Give me 1 second here. Audio is like freaking out. Sorry, I've gone back to like the little splash screen with the thumbnail on it. I make all the thumbnails on the channel myself, but come back for 1 second to. We'll be back in 1 second just to fix the weird audio issues. Oh, fuck. The game crashed. That's strange. Should be fine in 1 second. So when I was doing some research earlier on the DS, alright. So looks like I'm starting from the beginning again. Fuck. But yeah, I was doing some research and I completely forgot that. You sure? No, and if you ask that again, I will not hesitate to remove you from the chat. I'm not sharing anything with a random person. But I was doing a lot of research actually, and I completely forgot that. So one of Nintendo's few M-rated games was the first-person shooter for the GameCube called Geist. There was actually at one point going to be a DS version of that game. But the reason I brought that up was because what became Geist DS. And originally that was built off of, also partially built off of GoldenEye Rogue Agent. The DS port of GoldenEye Rogue Agent. Standalone game made by EA, nothing to do with GoldenEye 007. But one of the games that became that was game that I remember reading about as a young Solaris, back when I was still just a little baby star. But was Halo DS. And I remember reading about that, being bewildered at that. It's like, what the hell? A Halo game on the DS? I actually knew someone. So this was reported by IGN, but I remember I actually knew someone who actually played it. And they said like, it was actually very interesting, very well done, like a weird little tech demo. They did a good job translating the silent cartographer level, the second level of the first Halo, the most famous level of that game. Translating that onto the DS. Still to this day, like there's a ROM hack out there that like tries to recreate it roughly, but there's never been like the game itself's never been like leaked or released by anyone who worked on it. Which is a shame because I would love to get my hands on that. I would love to try out Halo DS. As bizarre and weird as it is. Even if it's just from like a historical standpoint. Especially as someone who loves Halo. There we go. While I use the charge beam, I can just spam the left shoulder button. But yeah, it's just fascinating to me the fact that at one point there was at least they tried to get a Halo. At least some like studio or developer tried to get make a Halo game for the DS. I mean, there were actually other, like in the past, there were other rumors of Halo coming to a Halo game coming to like a Halo platform. There was at one point a rumor that it was gonna come to the Game Boy Advance, and then another rumor that it was gonna come to the Gizmondo, which would have been so funny if we got Halo on the Gizmondo. Would have probably been the only thing that stopped that piece of shit console from failing as hard as it did. But Identified Vessel, the Celestial Archives. And then like in 2007, IGN reported that like they had gotten a hold of a tech demo of Halo running on the DS. Would you play a Halo on the DS? What should say? Would you have played Halo on the DS? Cartograph artifact. So would you have played it if it came out on the DS? I would have loved to have played it as a kid. There we go. Got him. Oh, wait, there's more of them. Shit. So I can get these assholes stop being shot. Come on. Circle Strafe. I've played Doom. Bring them all to me. But yeah, I fucking do love Halo though. I love Metroid. Metroid is probably my favorite Nintendo franchise. I'm always curious about this though. To anyone watching, what is your favorite Nintendo franchise that is not Mario, Pokemon, or Zelda? What's your favorite like franchise that is not one of Nintendo's kind of like big three IPs? In the hole. Hang on. Damn it. Used to be a trick to do that. Like a double jump, I forget now. Nope. Is this one supposed to go then? There's enemies here. There we go. Got him. They get hit once though. Hell yeah. Not a lot of morph ball. But yeah, for me it's Metroid. Yes! Another energy tank. But yeah, Metroid is my favorite Nintendo franchise, just period. Other than that, though, I do absolutely adore F-Zero. There we go. F-Zero, as well as Star Fox. You know, I'm a big fan of the IPs Nintendo neglects, except for Metroid. But I'm glad we're getting more Metroid. It was too long without a proper Metroid game. I think the gap between the last, like, before Metroid Dread, the last one we got before that was Metroid Other M for the Wii, like 2011 or 10 or 11. I think it was 11. And then, but since then we've had Metroid Dread, which when they got announced, I was so shocked to hear that. Oh, here's one of the first hunters, Kendon. Guy looks like a Ben 10 character. Damn it. But yeah, Metroid and then but yeah, Metroid Dread was originally meant to be a DS game, actually. In fact, I don't think it was never officially like announced, like never like formally announced. But it was a game that was like everyone knew was being made. Hell yeah, pistol expansion. It was a game everyone knew was being made, but there was actually even a reference to it in Metroid Prime 3 for the Wii. And then of course we don't hear anything for years. The most we get from the franchise was down here. Alright, yeah. Just wanted to make sure it's all. Couldn't be open with that weapon. I like that they introduced more bounty hunters in this game, by the way. Because, like, obviously, like, the world of Metroid has so much potential for, like, some really cool, like, lore. And we get little bits of it in a lot of the games. Even if it is, like, have to, like, kind of piece it together roughly. The most we do get, though, is throughout Metroid Other M, and that wasn't very well written. I liked it when I was, you know, a young son. And it was okay. Headshot. Like, hi, pops up, headshot. This game actually did have multiplayer in it, and it did support voice chat. I actually used to play the multiplayer when I was a kid. Because Nintendo, really strong proponents of free online gaming. You know, not charging people to play online like Microsoft were doing at the time. Sony did the same thing until the PS4. Come on, little bastard. Where are ya? and missed. Got him. This is harder than it looks. It's probably a lot easier on the actual hardware, but this is a lot harder than it looks. Having to play with both mouse, and then like aiming with the mouse and everything, and then like play with the controller in one hand. Fuck. Get back here. Fuck. Hang on, where are you? If the screen can stop shaking because I have the charge beam active. Come on, I've almost got him. Come on, you little bastard. That's right. Fuck off back to Ben 10. Big green bastard. That was so much more of a pain that it didn't have any right to be. Hell yeah, an Amblic artifact. Another thing I actually do want to talk about as well, aside from moving away from Nintendo, the DS, and good FPS games. So one game I've been keeping track of, actually, just for morbid curiosity, is Highguard. I've talked about Highguard before on the stream, how much of a disaster that launch has been, how much of a shitty game it looked like. And on top of that, I even made a bet that if the game didn't get shut down by the end of the month, I would actually play it on stream. And it looks like that might be the case. I might not actually play it on stream. Because not only did I mention, as I briefly mentioned during last week's Friday playthrough series, or I think I might have mentioned it on Monday stream, but not only did the studio developers, not only have they apparently fired and let go of most of their staff, but apparently the website has shut down as well, which is a big indicator that that game is about to die. Lol, said the Scorpion. Lamau. I hate to see people lose their jobs, but seeing that game fail the way it's done is like, I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew it was gonna happen. I told y'all. But, God, that game is such a disaster. It's a game that just has no idea what it wants to be. There we go. just pick up this little thing and then pick up the artifact. I was apparently reading though, but apparently, so they said like it was a fully independent game and everything, and they touted like they were free of being working for EA. Apparently they did not disclose that one of their big investors for that game was Tencent. Yas Queen Slay. Thank you, Rizzy Yat. Welcome to the stream. If you like retro games, feel free to maybe leave a like, comments, subscribe even if you're new here. I stream 3 days a week. This is actually my main series, Gaming in the Bush Obama Years, every Thursday. And then every Friday is the Friday playthrough series, and every Monday is the Monday stream where anything goes. And Friday I've been playing through Red Dead Redemption 2. I should play it each week until I beat the main story. That's one thing I do like about the DS, by the way, is the way like a lot of games like this game or Mario vs. Donkey Kong would take advantage of the two screens. Shit. Get it. There's it. Where's the other one? There we go. Good chunk of its health down. Say what, user, if you're still here, what's your favorite? Did you ever play the DS growing up? Or do you even still own a DS? If you do, what's your favorite game for it? Love to know. I'm always curious what everyone's favorite games for certain platforms are. Not that much help for it, unfortunately. Just got my health back. Shit. There we go. I think 2 more rounds of this should be fine. Shit. Thank God I'm not doing this game like damageless, because I would be fucked. Come on, damn it! Ah! One more. And I should be good to go. Alrighty. But I was saying, yeah, I got... It's like an identity crisis of a video game. It's literally a game that tries to be a bunch of, like 20 different games at once and has no idea how to be either of them. Got it! Sorry, what the hell does this one thing do? By the way, if you're new here and everything, I already did this once, but feel free to maybe like the stream. Comment what games you want to see me play on this channel. For GitBoy, Gaming in the Bush Obama Years, I cover games released between November 2000 and January 2017. So feel free to suggest games from that period. Next week for Handheld Month, I will be actually covering the 3DS. So I'll be happy to, especially be very happy to hear any suggestions for 3DS games. And I know I may just reached 50 subscribers again, but if I ever do get to 100 subscribers, I do have special plans for that. I will be playing the worst game I have ever played in my fucking life, Fallout: The Frontier, a giant mod for Fallout New Vegas. I love Fallout New Vegas so much. And yet the Frontier is one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever had the misfortune of playing. Come on, open up. And now this is my cue to get the fuck off this planet. Alright, time to circle strike these motherfuckers. Between games like Doom, Metroid Prime, if I ever have kids, they're gonna come out that womb circle strafing. I got that quote from Civi11. Hang on, does this work? Fuck! I have to go backtrack. This is the proper Metroid experience. Well, let's go through here. Not gonna lie, seeing the little 98 there is starting to annoy me a little bit. There we go, back to 99. I just got my missiles, even though I'm already full. Tell you what, though, I may have. Yeah, this is definitely. I feel like aside from the experience of playing this emulated with like the weird controls. I do feel like this game does hold up, as well as I remember. It's not as good as the home console Metroid Prime games. Like it does not hold up to, like it's not as, obviously it's not as good as the original Metroid Prime, which is my favorite game of all time, and it does not hold up to the original Metroid Prime 2 as well, as fucking balls difficult as that game is. Hated these little bastards from the original Metroid Prime and Prime 2. Prime 2, I feel like does not get its dues when it comes to, like, if you want to talk about hard video games, this is why I feel like I'm very much justified in being able to shit on games like FromSoft, like the Souls games, because it's like, I like hard games. Some of my favorite video games of all time are fucking balls difficult, like Hotline Miami. And Reckless Drive. But fucking Metroid Prime 2, god damn, that game is hard. That game is just ball busting. gonna scan you. Oh. Fuck. Got you. That little thing. And bloop. Shoot these assholes. I never want to play that at some point. Maybe just want some unsubbing, and then I have to, and I get back to 50 subs again. I'll play Metroid Prime 2. So many of these assholes now. Like how there was just one before, and now there's like a billion of them now. There we go. Back through here. Whoa, what perspectives? Another one of the hunters. No, not even. Guardians. Nope. I was gonna say, hold still and let me scan you, assholes. Got him. Then one more door here and I should be back to the ship. There we go. Hey, can I scan the ship? Yeah, I can. The hunter class. Yes, add to the ship. And save as well. God, this game rules. I didn't select. I actually have on my desk, I have a couple little like things to decorate my desk. Like a figure of Godzilla, 2 Gunpla model kits of Gundam Aerial, Unicorn Gundam, a few model cars, but also I actually have a little figure of Samus, specifically from Metroid Prime 2. Mustafar. Apparently going to Mustafar from Star Wars. I actually still own my DS. I don't know why this popped in my head now, but I do in fact still own my original DS. It was red with like little like stickers covering it that were designed to like fit around the system. They were from an issue of I believe Nintendo Power. And the hinge joint's kind of broken, so it's like that goes on its back. But damn thing still works. Nintendo consoles are goddamn bulletproof, except for the Switch. Although thankfully I've yet to have, knock on wood, yet to have any serious problems with my Switch. I've never had the misfortune of facing stick drift, but I know a few of my friends have had it. But I've had that DS since I lived in the US, so that thing is at least like 14 years old. Oh, asshole. Yeah. these things really blown up? Nah. Alright. I had to shoot those two assholes. There we go. I have to find my way out of this damned maze. Oh, here we go. She wanted to head this way. It's another entrance. But what if I go through the other way? Hell yes! I knew there was something there. I still remember that being something here. Energy tank. And so far I was right, by the way. My memory's not failing me. There was, in fact, yeah, this is like one of the few Metroid games, I think, where it's like you don't gain a bunch of items, then lose everything. Get a bunch of abilities at the start, lose everything, and then spend the game gathering those abilities again. You know what's funny though? I always thought about how much I love Metroid Prime, even though to this day I still need to play Metroid Dread. Well, it's Metroid Prime. I just love Metroid in general. I've always been more of a science fiction person. It's funny that my brother, we're like two different kinds of like people. It's like describe us as Bethesda games. He's more Elder Scrolls, and I'm much more Fallout. Or really more Fallout with a bit with also Starfield as well. Oh, I like to think I'm not as boring as Starfield. Although granted, I do actually love Starfield. I will defend that game. I just hope we get that second DLC sooner than later. It's insane like how long we've had to wait for that with no word on it. Because hopefully when that second DLC comes out, then hopefully that we'll eventually get, you know, the modding community will then inevitably start like kick in hard. Oh, yeah, there we go. I forget his name. He was like that rock asshole. Where are you? Let me scan you. Google, show me this guy's balls. Fuck. Man. That's it. Do you want to watch it? Have you ever seen the Eric Andre show? If you've never seen the Eric Andre show, you should absolutely check it out. Not like Eric Andre needs my shout out. I do need to rewatch it though. Okay. Good idea. Ah! I felt like if I was better at using the stylus here, I would be able to get him, scan him then. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm struggling to remember the guy's actual name. But he also does admittedly look a bit like like another Ben 10 character, just like Camden, whatever it's called. I'm up the ramp, Samus. You can do this. Thanks for the missiles. Hang on, can I shoot him? Spire! I managed to get that scan in the end too. Hell yeah. Originating from Talon 4, the original planet from the first Metroid Prime. Alright, here we go. And now I'm trapped. Bull drums. Oh, God, I remember these. Another one. That's right, this is where they spawn from here. And here as well. Got him. Alright. I may have lost a full energy tank, but I can still do this. I've got this. In theory. Can I scan that? No, I can't. Hey, he's here. Hey, buddy. Oh, shit. Looks like someone needs to get his rocks off. Good job. I always think of that scene from... Oh, was it Arrested Development? Daddy needs to get his rocks off. The guy, like, just does the thing. Fuck. You fucker. You just ran off and then closed the door. At least I got the little key here. Alrighty. Get in the... Hey! Another artifact. I do also really want to play Metroid Prime 4, but... I don't know if I want to play it on the Switch... or wait until if I ever get a Switch 2 and then play it that way. Because the one that feels like it was meant to be played on the Switch 2. Then again, if it was, they wouldn't have like Switch 2 edition. Asshole. Come on, you dickhead. I got it. I got this. I got this. Got him! May have taken so much of my health, but... I got him. And the other artifact, too. Where is that other artifact? Could you please stop falling off the ledge, Samus? Is that Missile Expansion? Yes, Missile Expansion! 25. Can't scan that. No. I can still jump though. Oh, there's the artifact. I'm dumb. Hell yeah, 2 artifacts down. Long-range thermomagnetic resonance scanners indicate remote and inaccessible chambers. Use the portal to access the inaccessible. And another platform just descends from the heavens. Another one of these assholes. Time to do more circle strafing. I forgot just how much of this game is just circle strafing. Then again, so much of Metroid Prime is at its core very, very much like circle strafing. I will go and save here. Go back to the ship and save. Come on, Samus, you can do this. Get into the ship. There we go. Okay. What was dual mode? Hang on. Let's try dual mode for a second. I'm just gonna try this out for 1 second. Why haven't I been doing this the whole time? I completely forgot this was this is one of the game, one of the control schemes. If you don't want to play with the touch screen, you can use the face buttons. And then right shoulder is to jump. You do still have to use like the stylus to like switch to like scanning and everything. Hell yeah, multiple perspectives. Actually, can I scan this guy? Someone's supposed to shoot those like things. No, get back into the scan. Slench 1A. And energy blaster. Pretty sure that was a Star Wars sound effect I heard. Yeah, that's Han Solo's blaster. There we go. A third of this guy's health down. I can't unhear it now. It's just straight up Han Solo's blaster. There we go. Got it. I don't know what the hell happened there. Come on, got it. Ah. Certain options. As difficult as the stylus control may be, I think muscle memories made me got used to the stylus controls. Come on, got him! Hell yes! An octolith. It just explodes and kills Samus. The cannon holds the power. I have the power. Alright, I think that's it for this guy. I was talking about this earlier in the stream. Oh, I'm back again. I was talking about this earlier, but there we go. I can't use the... Yeah, I can't use the teleporter. I'll go through this little bullshit again. I was talking about this earlier, there was that tech demo of Halo DS. But it get me thinking though, what, after playing like this on stream now for a bit, I'm genuinely curious as to how this would have like played. Like how Halo DS would have like played now. Unless I'm gonna have to reread the reports or like watch that video someone did. Oh hell yeah, this is that super soldier asshole. Nope. Weevil! If I remember correctly, he was like some like super soldier. And he just drops fucking turrets. I believe that do I find him next? Oh. Can I speed run this? Still let me shoot you. Got him. No, I really have to haul ass. Come on. Anyone watching, send me your energy. Oh, wait, no, that's it. Oh, shit. I'm dumb. I mean, you don't have to send me your energy, but you can still send me your energy if you want. Wait, was that the map? Ah, this is planet overview. Yeah, there we go. Alright, I think I've done 2 planets already. I'll launch the ship and everything. Getting the Ambler cluster for not 1, but 2 new planets, which I will probably get to another day. That's gonna be it for Metroid Prime, though. If you did enjoy today's stream, if you're new here, I'm your host, Solaris. That was another and. That's it for Gaming in the Bush Obama years this week. Feels excellent to finally have 50 subscribers again. In fact, if you're new here, why not subscribe while you're at it? Maybe leave a like, subscribe, and bring a ding that bell for notifications. I stream 3 days a week. Mondays is the Monday stream where pretty much anything goes. Thursdays is this series, GitB, Gaming in the Bush Obama years, where I play my main series and retro gaming series, where I play through games released between November 2000 and January 2017. And of course, Fridays is the Friday playthrough series, where I start a game 1 week and continue to chip away at that game until I have B in it. Currently, I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2. My first ever playthrough of that game. It is incredible. But next week on GitB, for Handheld Month, I will be playing a 3DS game. What 3DS game exactly? I get to decide on that yet, actually. I have a couple ideas in mind. However, if you have any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment or anything suggesting what 3DS games I should play. Until then, though, I'm your host, Solaris, and take care, brush your hair.